Hey folks, tonight I'm going to do a review on this little Sig P365. Let's get up close and let you look at it. In standard form, hadn't done anything to it except put the rubberized Talon grips on there. Now, I'm going to go into something before I do the review on the Sig. Somebody asked me in a previous video if I could talk about my grip on the gun, because it seemed like I was able to control the recoil pretty good. I'll kind of cover that a little bit. I'm going to tell you probably what 90 to 95% of all instructors across the country are going to tell you. When you are getting your initial grip on the gun, whether it's from the holster or whether it's just picking it up at the range, what I want you to do is take the web of your hand and get it as high up on that back strap as possible. All right? You want the web of that hand as high up as possible. You want to keep that thumb, your dominant thumb, straight up. You want to wrap your dominant fingers around the gun. Keeping the finger straight, keeping the thumb up. The reason you're going to keep the thumb up is because you're going to take your non-dominant hand and you're going to marry the meaty portion right in here. This is the meaty portion right where your thumb is. That's the meaty portion. You're going to marry that right into the side of this grip where there's a void, okay? So you're going to marry it right in there. You're going to roll your thumbs forward, and then you're going to lay your dominant thumb straight ahead on top of your non-dominant thumb, all right? That is the grip that 90% of your firearms instructors are going to teach you, okay? The reason this is the grip is because you have 360-degree coverage around that entire gun with skin, all right? Now, if you lay this thumb down and do the thumbs over grip, you have a void right in here where there is no contact with the side of that gun. There's that void. And when I do this, now I don't have skin contact there. Whereas if I will leave my dominant thumb up, lay the meaty portion of my hand right there in that void, and then roll that thumb forward, and then put my dominant thumb on top, now I've got 360-degree coverage of the entire gun, all right? That's how any firearms instructor in the modern era is going to teach you how to grip your gun. And that's a good place to start. One thing they usually don't talk about is how hard to grip the gun. And if they do, they have different opinions on how hard you should grip the gun and how hard you should not grip the gun. I practice defensive type shooting. In a defensive situation, your adrenaline's going to be up, your heart rate's going to be up, your breathing is going to be elevated, you're going to be sweating, you're going to get tunnel vision. And believe it or not, you're actually going to get stronger when your adrenaline goes up. Anybody that has been in a situation where their adrenaline goes up, sometimes they do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do because your adrenaline does give you a little extra strength. I want you to grip this gun like you're trying to break it. That's how I grip a gun every time I shoot it. There's different opinions out there. Bullseye shooters don't agree with that. They don't think you should grip it that hard. Most of your practical or game type shooters don't grip it that hard. I'm not a game shooter. I'm not a bullseye shooter. I shoot for self-defense. I practice for what I might have to use outside of here. So I grip the gun as hard as I can. So grip strength comes into play there. Now, some people don't have as much strength in their grip as other people do. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do a lot of powerlifting. And with powerlifting, you do a lot of deadlifts. You've got 3 lifts: squat, bench, and deadlift. My deadlift is fairly good. At one time, I was up to 695 on my deadlift. Now, that was before I had a knee injury, but I'm still close to 600 pounds. That means I have a fairly strong grip. Grip really comes into play when you're mitigating recoil, all right? So I'm gonna shoot this gun with 3 different mags, factory ammo, And the one reason I brought this gun out is so you could see these little guns recoil, but you can tame that recoil with the proper grip on the gun and then the proper grip tension on the gun. All right, what I'm going to be shooting to demonstrate muzzle control is my little Sig 365 9mm stock. All it has on it is a Talon, a rubberized grip. I'm going to shoot it with the 12 round mag first. Then I'm going to shoot another one in slow-mo with the 12 round mag. Then I'm going to shoot a third one in slow-mo with the 10 round mag. So you can kind of see my muzzle control on the gun. Remember, I'm going to grip it just like I showed you, and then I'm going to squeeze down on it real tight as I can. I'm going to run the 10 round mag. All right, I'm going to take y'all down here and let you see what my group looks like while shooting rapid fire at 5 yards with a little micro compact gun. All right, remember, death grip on the gun. All right, here you go. You can see I threw one shot out of the A zone. All right, that's roughly 20 rounds. So all these are good, effective combat hits. That's one flyer. All right, so you're gonna have to work on that. Most people can't just grip the gun alone and be able to control recoil like that. You're gonna have to work at it. But if you work at it, you can get to where even a 10mm, 45 ACP, 357, Sig, 40 caliber, all of those will recoil. You'll feel the recoil, but you'll be able to control it and get that muzzle back on target. So I hope that helps some of you out. All right, a little Sig P365. I'm going to do my Bear Solutions 10 and 3 drill. I'm going to do it from concealment. I don't normally carry appendix unless I'm carrying this little gun. I carry this little gun, I do carry appendix. But I'm going to do it from appendix carry. I'm going to put it on a timer, and I'm going to carry my backup mag in my pocket, just like I would if I was out on the street, and we'll see what kind of time we get. Not the fastest in the world because I went for my reload right here. My reload is in my pocket. But let's see what that time was. It was a 9:15. Not too bad. Shooting from concealment. Shooting with the mag in my pocket. And shooting this little tiny gun. Let's go up here and see what my group looked like, because it was actually pretty good. There's There's my first 5 rounds, my second 5 rounds, and then 3 more. Let's see if we can speed that up a little bit. All right, second run on the Bear Solutions drill. I'm not gonna run it anymore after this. We'll try to get it under 9 seconds. Went for my waistband again. Not what I thought it was gonna be. 9.66. Go down here and look at the hits. Hits, again, really good. First 5, second 5, tearing them up. And then the 3 in the middle. Well, I'll tell you, this little Sig, people can say what they want to about it. Boy, this thing shoots like a much bigger gun than it really is. As far as subcompact guns, man, I love this little thing. And like I said before last time, it's a common theme with me. I love all guns, but there's some I love more than others. And it's for a micro compact gun, carries 10 to 12 rounds, and it's so small. It's almost as small as a little single stack, a little car PM9. Boy, this thing handles recoil great, and it shoots good. I've got about 1,600 rounds on this little gun. I've had 2 malfunctions. The first magazine I put through the gun, I had a malfunction. Then at about around 800 or 900, I had a malfunction. Both of them were failure to extract. Like I said, I got a lot of rounds on this gun now. For it to be a micro compact, that's a pretty good bit of rounds. And it just keeps running. It runs and runs and runs. So let's try a few other things. All right, I'm gonna run 12 rounds, about 5 yards. 12 rounds through it, center mass in the A zone as fast as I can run them. Not bad. I think I go a little faster. Now, I'm gonna run 12 rounds as fast as I can in the head. Not bad at all. I feel like I could have gone a little faster with that, but I can't complain with the results. Let's go down here and look at it. All right, results of it. All A hits. Here's my A line. Had a couple out here, but most of them are in there. Headshots, really good. That's not for me, that's for somebody else. But this is my headshots. Really good. But tell you, little gun, like I said before, it handles like a gun twice its size. It's a good little shooter. So we'll try one more thing with it. All right, I'm gonna do some target transitions with this gun. I'm gonna start out on either the left or the right target. I'm just gonna do some transitions from target to target. See how the gun transitions. I've never done transition drills with this gun before. So this will be first time for me. Not bad at all. Let's go down here and look at it. I want y'all to know, I take these video clips and I edit them together. But whatever I shoot, I show. I don't want y'all to think that I'm trying to edit the clips to make it seem like I'm better than I actually am. So I show you what I actually do. So here you go, right here. All A zone hits. Pretty good. Let's move over here. All A zone hits except for that one flyer. You can tell from the majority of my shots, I had one in the center, but the rest of them are off to the side. The reason for that is because I'm not stopping fast enough. I need to stop faster. So when I'm coming across, I'm not stopping fast enough, and I'm coming off to the right just a little bit. That's all me. With a larger gun, like with a Glock that I'm used to shooting, or an STI or 1911, that doesn't normally happen as bad. But with a smaller gun, it kind of exaggerates everything. So that's all me. I'll go home and we'll do a final wrap up on this little 365. All right, well, I'm back from the range. Shot my Sig P365 today, and we'll zoom down here and give y'all a little bit of some of the features, and tell you what I like and what I don't like about it. All right, this is my Sig P365. It's bone stock. The only thing I've done to it is add this little Talon rubberized grip to it. The texture on the grip was good. I just wanted more. Those of y'all that don't know, the Sig 365 is a micro compact 9mm. It's roughly the size of a car PM9 in that area, except instead of a single stack, it holds 10 rounds. I still couldn't tell you how they fit 10 rounds in that little bitty magazine, still have room for springs, and keep it reliable. But this thing has been reliable for me. The sights that come standard on it are the Sig X-ray sights. You'll notice there are valves or tritium valves in the back, but the sight itself is blacked out. Then they got this, it's a green front sight. It's a high visibility sight, but really like this sight set up. It works good. I'm not a big fan of 3-dot systems, but with this one, it doesn't bother me because I don't even notice the dots in the rear. I've heard some people complain about the trigger. I've heard some people love the trigger. Mine, I like it, man. It's for this type of gun, it's got a really good trigger. It's fairly crisp. The reset is fairly short. There's the reset. Well, there's the reset, and it's just for a carry gun. You can't beat it. It's not a competition gun. It's a carry gun. It's a self-defense gun. I think my trigger breaks somewhere around 5 to 6 pounds, something like that, which is adequate for this. It's got a decent reset. The recoil on this gun is not what you would think it would be. It handles recoil like guns that are much bigger than it. You see in the video, I can handle strings of fire pretty easily with this gun, and it just doesn't have a lot of recoil. I don't shoot powder puff rounds when I'm at the range. I shoot factory ammo. Tonight I was shooting, Fiocchi 115 and Blazer Brass 124 grain, and that's what I was running through this gun. So reliability of this gun. I know when they came out, there was a lot of problems with the reliability, not extracting, firing pins breaking, things like that. I can tell you from my experience, I've got 1,600 rounds, something like that through it. I've had 2 malfunctions. The first malfunction was in the first magazine. It was a failure to extract. I had another malfunction around the 1,000 round mark. It was a failure to extract. So out of 1,500 rounds, give or take 100 or so, I know it's over 1,500, but we'll just say it's 1,500 rounds. I've had 2 malfunctions. I think that's okay. It's acceptable for a micro compact gun like this. That's acceptable for just about any gun, really. 2 malfunctions in 1,500 rounds. So I like this gun. If this is a later production gun, this was one that came with the X-ray sights. So it is a later production gun. So I've had this gun for a year and a half. It came out after all the recalls on the gun, but I really like this gun. It's been reliable, it's been durable. It fires anything I put through it, handles recoil great. Trying to think of any cons of the gun. The one con that I have, and it's just the nature of the beast, okay? When you've got a subcompact gun and I go to reload it, it gets hung on the meat of my hand. So I have to pull the magazine out. So the mags will drop free if you hold the gun the right way, but in order for me to eject the mag, I usually hold it like that, but the mags usually don't drop out. They dropped out on camera for me, but they usually don't drop out. So that's the one con, but that's what you get when you get a little short grip like this. Sometimes mag changes aren't as easy as full-size guns. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it around. I hope you got a little something out of the recoil management talk that I had. Listen, just because that's the way I do it doesn't mean it's the way you're going to be able to do it, and it doesn't mean it's the way you'll be taught at a class if you go to a class. I'm a firearms instructor. That's how I teach people to shoot, as far as gripping the gun and managing the recoil of the gun. But if you go to 5 different instructors, they're probably going to teach you basically the same, but a little variation in 5 different ways. That's how I that's how I tame recoil. I really grip the fire out of that gun, and I just give it a stranglehold. So on another thing, I haven't cleaned this gun, and I can't tell you how long. It's pretty dirty. There's no oil on the barrel, and if you saw tonight, it ran through about 150 rounds, flawless, no problems at all. So reliability on this little gun, sample size of 1, but the reliability's been good. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope y'all have a good night.